Welcome to Everyday Ethics, everybody. Glad to have you here. We've got the lovely Persephone here, and today we are going to be discussing Nathaniel Branden's Six Pillars of Self-Esteem. Did you look through the stuff, Persephone?
I did. I also have a whole bunch of questions for you.
You do.
I do because the six pillars. Hi, Danny, and hi, Olive. The six pillars of self-esteem are great, but for people who might not necessarily, self-esteem sounds like a concept that should be pretty self-explanatory, but I also think that a lot of people don't really understand what self-esteem is, might confuse self-esteem with arrogance. Um, might think self-esteem just means I think that I'm amazing all the time. So I think it might be cool to discuss what self-esteem actually is before going into the six pillars.
Okay, so basically, what's happened is I sent you a list of things that we're going to discuss, the six pillars of self esteem, according to Nathaniel Branden. And you have now decided to come up with a topic of your own, and you're going to spring it on me. And now I have to improv and explain it.
Isn't it
What
wonderful?
is Gen Z? I was told that I don't understand Gen Z. Who are these people?
So generations are broken up into different categories. So baby boomers are people born, I think
I
Marcus
know
to,
about the different generations, Persephone.
so
Who
that's
specifically is Gen Z?
Gen Z. So there's the baby boomers, then there's the Gen X, which is what you are. There's a millennial, which is what I am. Then there's Gen Z, which is the people born like the generation after me. And then there's Gen Alpha, which is like,
Is this correct?
um, let's see when Gen Z was born. They're
Anyway,
like some of them are like in their 20s now. 1997 to 2012 is actually what it is.
ooh, Amy, I'm sorry, but close, but no cigar. There was going to be a big prize if you got it right, but that 1 year just threw the whole thing off. Okay, so self esteem, according to Dr. Branden, according to Dr. Leonard Peikoff, according to Ayn Rand, it's the combination of self confidence and self respect. Self confidence meaning I'm capable of achieving the things in life that I want to achieve. I'm capable of dealing with reality, with dealing with existence. Self respect, on the other hand, is the belief, the conviction that I'm worthy of obtaining these things. Oh, Nicole Hingle's here. She has just a few minutes. Um, we love having Nicole Hingle here. I saw she made a comment that I was cute the other day, and of course, anytime somebody flatters me, it gets them everywhere. But yeah, so self esteem basically, it's just a conviction that you are capable to deal with existence and that you are worthy of obtaining the things you need, worthy of obtaining your own happiness. This is one of the fundamental virtues of, or one of the fundamental values, I'm sorry, of objectivism. It's requirement of egoism, which is the ethical system by which you are your highest value. So I hope that answers your question. Do you want to throw us off the topic anymore and have me answer anything else?
I do. And also, I just want everybody to know that I warned Michael ahead of time that I had a bunch of questions. So
Yeah, I
don't
thought you were going to ask me questions about the six pillars.
I yeah, we'll get there.
So Danny says if he had to choose a cellmate, it would be me. I just want everybody to know that there's no funny business implied there. But it's interesting because while we were on the air, my former cellmate, best friend Brent McCall, actually just called me and I couldn't answer because I'm on the show.
That's really sad.
Well, what are you gonna do? I couldn't. Want me to answer the phone and then I'll be 15 minutes and we're screwed.
I mean, yeah, I think everybody would be okay with that. So yeah, so this was the other thing. So, uh, your friend Danny says conceited is often misinterpreted. So that was another thought that I had. A lot of people could confuse self-esteem and arrogance. And I know
Yeah,
you've called yourself arrogant in the past.
I was kidding. I'm not.
I
But
know.
here's the thing. I can't stand that shit. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with me. Fuck those people. right? Because it's aggravating. It's more revealing about the person. Now, I'm not saying there's no such thing as arrogance. Arrogance is an excessive view of oneself, an exaggerated. It means that it's an inaccurate assessment. We're trying to get in an accurate assessment here, right? But in my experience, the people, let me just give you an example. A lot of people in prison have told me, inmates, oh, you think you're smarter than everybody. Oh, you think you're better than everybody, that sort of thing. I have interviewed professors, economists, lawyers. I've had debates with all kinds of people from all walks of life. People that are confident in themselves, none of these people has ever said to me, wow, you sure are arrogant, or you sure think highly of yourself, or you think you're smart. It's always the people who feel badly about themselves. So you can normally bet on this. And again, it's not universal, but normally, if somebody is challenging you on your self-esteem by telling you you're conceited or you think you're better than everybody, that person has a self-esteem deficiency. Like, I don't deal with people and think, oh my God, this son of a bitch thinks he's so smart. Oh, look at this guy. And it gets me all wound up and angry. Right? I don't give a shit if you think you're smart. Doesn't make a difference to me. Either you're right or you're not, and I'll make that assessment for myself.
Yeah.
I think No Name is flirting with my friend Danny in the chat. That's okay. I mean, I'm not opposed to flirting. It's good. It's good. I hope I didn't embarrass anybody, but
I think
I flirt with Danny all the time.
you flirt with everyone all the time.
Yeah.
It's one of your most endearing characteristics.
Jim Valiant says being conceited or boasting reveal insecurity, a lack of self-esteem. I agree with that too, Jim.
Yeah. So for me, a big difference between having like good self-esteem and being arrogant is like, or conceited, is people who are arrogant or conceited, if you point out that they don't know something, that triggers like immediate self-defense. If you
Yes.
point out to someone with good self-esteem that they don't know something or they're not good at something, then they've got the confidence in themselves to go, yeah, you're right. I need to learn more. I need to practice. But someone who's arrogant will be like, how dare you? How dare you say that? I'm perfect.
Yeah, the narcissistic paradox. Nice. Nicole Hingle says genuine confidence doesn't need to announce itself or tear down anybody. Yes, that is indeed Danny's picture. He's lying, and he blew me off for coffee today, just so everyone knows. Okay, what other questions do you got, Lady Persephone?
No, I think that was it. And then I have other ones once we've gone through the pillars. See, I prepared.
Can you tell me what is rage baiting?
Rage baiting is when you post something that you know is going to piss people off with the sole purpose of generating impressions or clicks or comments. So if you post a video that's like, I think ICE is wonderful and should be shooting more people in the streets. Like, you know that that's not true. You don't necessarily believe it. The only reason you're posting it is because you want people to get pissed off. And
I don't think that's the Gen Z meaning. I'm going to throw it out there. Okay, what other questions can before we can actually get to the 6 pillars? If you have another question, what?
No, I said we're going to talk about the 6 pillars, and then I have questions.
What? Now you didn't. We got to mention. We love super chats. We love super stickers. You can see the goal on top. If we raise $150 this week, I will get a pair of headphones like Lady Persephone's, and I will rock them for a week. I have to warn you though, if I like them, I might just keep them.
Which I think is a good thing, because I think these are great headphones. I think they're fun. And I think Mike would look good in them, just saying.
Okay. I was gonna never mind. Okay. So do you want me to tell you what the 6 pillars are?
Yes.
Okay, so the 6 pillars are the practice of living consciously, the practice of self acceptance, the practice of self responsibility, the practice of self assertiveness, the practice of living purposefully, and the practice of integrity. And we've got $3. Now you're keeping track of when they come from here, right? Thank you, Nicole Hingle.
Oh, I'm muted. Oh my word.
No, but you Olive says okay, but what color are the cat ears going to be? Pink glittery. Is that okay? Pink glittery. Can we go with pink glittery cat ears?
I mean, we're gonna have to see what's available. That's the answer. We're gonna have to see what's
We
available.
will see what's available. I'm not opposed to pink glittery, not at all.
Yeah, yeah. So mine changed color.
$2. Woo, €5.
Yeah, that we can already see the cat ears happening.
I hope so. I hope so. Goodbye, Nicole.
Bye, Nicole.
Goodbye. So, all right. So, living consciously. I'm just going to give an example that Nathaniel Branden actually gave in his book, The Art of Living Consciously. He, I guess, kept, he was married and he kept filling up his cup of coffee just a little too much so that it would spill, a little bit on the table every day. And his wife was getting pissed. And his wife kept telling him about this. He said, okay, I'll make an effort, but just kept doing it. And then the wife said to him, okay, we're going to make a deal. Every time you do that and it spills, it's going to cost you $500. He stopped doing it. And the point is he brought consciousness to what he was doing because now he was going to lose something because of it. And he used that to explain that a lot of us approach life that way, that we're just not paying attention. So bringing consciousness to things means being aware of what you are doing, what you are saying, what you are thinking. It's being aware of those around you. It's being aware of your environment. It's being aware of everything of relevance to your life. Does that make sense to you, Persephone? You read the stuff.
Yes. Yes, that does make sense.
So what do you think about this?
I think it is very important, but it's also it is something that you have to work at because it doesn't come naturally. It is something that you have to put a lot of focus onto, and it's a habit that you have to build.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. So €2 from No Name. Thank you, No Name. Yeah, it's important, I think, that when we talk about these things, I've been told by people a lot of times that I make things sound like they're so easy. And I'm not doing it on purpose. I'm not trying to make them sound easy. This is difficult work and it takes effort. We want to build these ideas. The stuff that we talk about in the show, we want to build them into our character, make them habits. As Aristotle said, our second nature. It takes work, right? It doesn't, I mean, Nathaniel Branden, who wrote the books, this was late in life when he was having this issue with his wife. It doesn't matter how hard you work, you can always slip. The point is that we want to start putting forth the effort to be more conscious, to do these other things. Oh, you're up.
Yeah, I can imagine why you might make it sound easier than it is because you've spent a lot of time and a lot of energy improving yourself, whereas for other people this might be entirely new. And you when you're explaining something that is very obvious to you or something that you've spent a lot of time immersed in, it can be very easy to slip into explaining it in a way that you're like, well, this is obvious. But to someone to whom the concept is entirely new,
Yeah, it can come off as easy. And a lot of times what I try to explain in conversations is sometimes things are simple. That doesn't make them easy. It's simple. It's a simple equation. If you want to lose weight, burn more calories than you take in. But when you bring me the tiramisu, it's not that easy to resist.
yeah, yeah. Also, video games. Some video games have very simple mechanics, but they are extremely challenging to master.
No Name says it's dangerous to give your location online. I don't think though. No Name saying that I'm in the United States, for instance, puts me at much risk,
Yeah. I
right?
mean, don't give anybody your home address. Maybe
No.
don't say what neighborhood you live in, but I mean, just saying like, I'm from South Africa. I dare you to find me.
Now
No, I
Amy.
don't.
Amy said that she's 19, and it got me thinking because Amy's mom joined a while back on the Self-Made Soul show, and I was listening to this song the other day. Stacy's mom has got it going on. Have you ever heard it? I wonder,
Yes.
Amy, is your mom hot? I want to know. I think what I think it's an important question. I want to be conscious of whether Amy's mom is hot. I bet she is. I'll bet you Amy's mom is hot. Subby loves Nutella. See, Amy says she is. I figured as much. So the practice of self-acceptance. This is sort of paradoxical, right? That the only way we can truly change something is if we accept it, right? So if I have an insecurity, right? If I want to change it, I have to accept it. It's me. It's who I am. It's a part of what my being consists of, right? So I need to accept that. If I've got a temper, I need to accept it. Whatever it is, unless I accept it and acknowledge it, I cannot work on it. I can't change it. And in his book, How to Change Your Self-Esteem, I'm sorry, he talks about that when you don't accept something about yourself, you put yourself in a confrontational or you put yourself at war. Parts of yourself are at war with one another. And it's just not healthy to do. You need to accept it, acknowledge it, and then you can work on it.
Yeah. I mean, that's
No,
very
no, you
true.
can't just say, yeah. No.
You know, sometimes I need to just start talking so that my brain can engage.
Oh,
While I was doing some additional reading for this, right?
awesome.
Um, I came across a someone had posted on Reddit, and they were talking about whether or not this helped them, or whether or not this book helped them. And someone had asked the question, well, they had said that they had gone through this and they didn't find it helpful at all because they deal with a lot of self-hatred. And yes, you have to accept the things about yourself that you need to change, but that can very easily slip into self-hatred. Like if you acknowledge that there are things about yourself that you need to change in order to have self-esteem. Self-esteem has to be earned, but if you haven't done anything to earn the self-esteem, then should you hate yourself? And that's sort of what I was thinking about while you were talking.
Um, well, once you make the decision, here's the thing, right? If you're a serial killer, let me just use an absolute extreme example. You should hate yourself,
Yes.
right? Okay, you're a horrible human being. But for your run of the mill average person, even somebody who has, maybe you're a drug addict, maybe, I don't know, a prostitute, whatever. I promise you, there's a very good chance you're hearing my dogs bark. There's a very good chance that you are not as bad as I was, right? So if I were to continue living like that, I think self-hatred is warranted. But once, is that your dog I just saw walking?
Yes, did you think
Oh,
it was your dog that had
I
magically
did.
walked into
Yeah.
my
So,
office?
but no. But once you've made that decision, once you're at the point where you're reading this book and you're making the decision to change, then the self praise can begin. You can actually praise yourself that I'm taking the steps to improve. And so there's no reason to hate yourself in that scenario. And the self acceptance is actually a way to not hate yourself. It's a way to say, okay, this is who I am. And I'm a human being. I'm flawed, and there's things that I can do to get better. Right? And that's what you do. Now I have Diana calling me. Both Diana and Brent know I do this show at this time.
Maybe it's an emergency. You don't know.
No, there's no emergency. Believe me, there's no emergency. But yeah, so no, you don't want to hate yourself. And that's kind of the point of self acceptance. It's just saying, okay, I can accept this. This is who I am. I don't have to hate myself. And as a matter of fact, I'm putting forth the effort right now to become a better human, to make my life better. And that's praiseworthy. There's nothing to condemn.
Yeah. And I mean, self-esteem isn't something that is just either you have it or you don't, and it's not a fixed point. So
Right.
you could have been an absolute shit show when you were younger, but if you've made the decision to better yourself and you're making better choices today than you did yesterday, even if you were, a criminal or a prostitute, as long as you're making better choices today than you were yesterday, that's a reason to be proud
Yes.
of yourself and have confidence in yourself.
Yeah. And the precondition for this is to make the decision to grow. Once you've made that decision, you start to feel better. The self esteem starts to increase. But you're right, it's not an either or. First of all, it exists on a continuum, but it also fluctuates
Mhm.
along that continuum within a given person.
Yeah,
Yeah?
I have nothing to add to that. Yes, self-esteem isn't something that happens overnight. It's something that you have to continue working at.
Okay. Pillar 3, the practice of self responsibility. She wants a shirt, Jeanette. So tell her where to buy a shirt.
You can buy shirts at www.thecapitalistcorner.org. There is a shop tab. Um, that's about all I can say about that. We will be moving to a different merch store soon, and there will be new Be Ethical merch. New Everyday Ethics merch is in the works, so keep an eye out for that.
Okay.
We're gonna have a fuck bullies shirt.
Fuck bullies. Great. I like that idea. Um, yeah. Now, where the hell was I? Oh, self
Self
responsibility. Yeah. Personal responsibility is a must in this world, right? And I used to blame everybody for my problems. It was the way I was brought up. It was the bad neighborhood. It was the bullies in the neighborhood. It was everything but me. The problem is when you accept that, you're accepting deterministic defeat, right? Other people are controlling me. But once you take responsibility, now you're empowered to change. You're empowered to make things happen. You're empowered to get things done. But that only can happen once you accept responsibility. Self responsibility, absolute must. By the way, and Nathaniel Branden wrote another book called Taking Responsibility. That's a good book.
Yeah. I haven't read it, unfortunately. So I can't speak to that. Um, yes, you are. You have to take responsibility, but also some people take some people take that too far.
I get it.
What?
I get it. I get it. I get it. But go. Get to the thing. Don't worry
Sorry,
about that.
I got so distracted by that comment. Yeah,
I know.
some people take that too far. You are responsible for the things that you can control. Obviously,
Right. Good point.
you're not responsible for, you know, natural disasters. The Secret was a big deal like a couple of years ago, well, 20 years ago. That, manifesting, I bring things into my life. If I hope hard enough, I can manifest a car. And one of the big things in that whole genre was that you are responsible for everything that happens in your life. So
Yeah.
if you are
Did you
diagnosed
mention
with
The
cancer.
Secret? I'm sorry. Did you mention The Secret? Because that's what I was thinking about, the book, The Secret.
Yeah. So that was like that was the big one. That was the big one that like hit mainstream success and was
Yeah.
on Oprah. And
Garbage.
one of the things in that was like if you have cancer, you caused your cancer with
Yeah.
your own negative thoughts.
Yeah. If you get
So
hit by a car, it's your
yeah,
fault and something. Yeah.
it's because you know that you're responsible for everything that happens in your life. No, you are responsible for the things that you can control.
Yes.
You are responsible for how you react to situations or how you prioritize your time.
Yeah.
You're not responsible for.
Yeah. I love that point because you can control your actions. That's what you can control in this world.
Yeah.
You cannot control every thought that comes through your head. You cannot control how other people treat you. You cannot control the weather, or whether you could. I mean, you could take steps to be more healthy, but maybe you get sick. It's just, yeah. I thought that book was ridiculous. The
Yeah,
Secret.
it was really stupid. But I mean, I like the fact that you mentioned that you can't control like all of your thoughts,
Yeah.
because a lot of people do have intrusive thoughts or knee-jerk reactions that they then like beat themselves up about. You you can't control every thought that passes through your head, but you can choose whether or not to act on those thoughts, or whether to like hear the thought and say this is wrong. I'm not going to think that anymore. Some people have like knee jerk racist reactions, right? It, what you have control over is whether you say yes, that thought is fine, or no, I'm not going to think like that anymore, and to work to stop them.
Excellent. I just was telling Persephone earlier that I didn't know how smart she was. You are just a very smart person.
Thank you. It was also a weird thing to hear. I didn't know how smart you were.
I didn't. Um,
I was born a blonde. That's why.
why do we have these thoughts? I don't know the answer to that. No name. I'm sorry. So the next pillar is self assertiveness. And
Mm.
with these principles, there's an interesting thing. Again, it's reciprocal causation, right? The more you assert yourself, the more your self esteem grows. The more self esteem grows, the more you're willing to assert yourself. But it all has to be self started, right? You have to be willing to take the actions necessary to build the self esteem. But you have a right to assert yourself. You have a right to tell people what you want out of life. You have a right to tell people how you wish to be treated. You have a right to tell people what you're not going to tolerate. You have a right to speak up for yourself. And the thing is, it's like that we have this thing, a lot of us, where the consciousness of other people is like terrifying to us. Oh my God, this person's not going to like me. Oh my God, what if this person disagrees? What if they snap back? Who cares? Who cares? And by the way, it's important to say, when you're assertive, it does not mean that you're always going to get what you want. You might tell somebody, "Hey, listen, dude, I don't like the way you're treating me," and the guy says, "Yeah, I don't really care." And then you have to make the decision to not associate with the person. But if you won't tell people in life what you want, you will not get what you want from them.
Yeah, but also one of the things that I think is really important to understand in assertiveness is you're not forcing another person to do what you want. You can say that this is my boundary, but your boundary can never be telling another person how they react or how they behave or how they treat you. If your boundary is I refuse to tolerate disrespect, you cannot force another person to respect you.
No.
The only thing that you can do is walk away from that person if they cross that boundary. So
And
assertiveness is not forcing other people to do what you want. It is just,
telling people what you want.
yes, setting boundaries, um, making sure that people know what you will accept. and that kind of thing.
Yeah, there's a saying, Persephone is brilliant, from James Valiant, who
Thank
is
you, James.
absolutely brilliant himself. But yeah, you are correct there, and it's well said. And I just forgot what the hell I was going to say. Although it was, we teach people. It's a common saying. It's maybe even reached the state of being a platitude, but I think it's nonetheless true that in large part we teach people how to treat us by
Mm,
letting them know what we will accept and what we won't accept. Now, No Name says Persephone is brilliant.
thank you.
The practice of living purposefully. Okay, we have a question from Olive. Is it okay to tell people what I want when I already know people can't give me what I want?
I feel like you need to go into a little bit more detail over there.
Right. I mean, what I mean is, what we're talking about. If I tell Persephone, I want you to give me $5 million. I mean, I can do that, but she's not going to give me $5 million. I don't think she has $5 million, and if she had it, it's unreasonable for me to ask such a thing. Importantly, none of these principles that we're talking about today or that we talk about this show exist in isolation. They all exist in a context where we're discussing a rational human being with a rational standard of ethics, which is your own life, which is your long term best interest. So, running around and telling people to give you things that they can't do is not in your long term interest to do. Telling somebody to stop disrespecting you is. If somebody is blasting music and you would like them to turn it down, you can ask them to do it. That's okay. They can do it. But just like with the self responsibility stuff, where you cannot take on responsibility for things that you have no power over, you cannot reasonably ask somebody to do something that that person is not capable of doing.
Yes. If you are, for instance, in a relationship with a person who has proven over and over and over that they're willing to stomp all over your boundaries, um, then telling that person what your boundaries are is useless. So if you are in a relationship with a person who disrespects you constantly, whether that's like a romantic relationship or a friendship or a work relationship, and you tell the person, "I want you to respect me," when they've proven over and over and over again that they won't, you can do it, but it's stupid and it is self sabotage.
Right. If you are in a relationship with somebody that is abusive, verbally, physically, that crosses your boundaries, that simply does not respect you, first of all, the person's probably not the person you want to be in a relationship with, but also you've now taught that person that it's okay to treat you that way. So you may never be able to get them to stop. And the thing to do is to cut your losses and move on. You simply don't need people like that in your life. The people that you want in your life are the people that are going to be furthering your interest, that are going to add value and quality to your life.
Yeah. It's another reason why it's very important to build self esteem. Because if you have good self esteem, then you have the confidence to walk away from people who stomp all over your boundaries because you know that you are worth more than that.
Yes.
If you don't have that self-esteem, you're much more vulnerable to clinging on to people who are bad for you. You're much more vulnerable to manipulation from other people. You don't trust your own judgment. Um,
Stars for Amy says, I may have an idea about what this is because she and Olive are close friends. And she says, don't ask him, girl. He's not worth it. And if Amy is your friend, I'm assuming she is. I don't know the two of you, so I don't know the nature of the relationship other than that you came on a show together. You might want to pay close attention to that because she's probably correct. So
um,
go ahead.
I just want to say something. As the woman, um, if you ever have to beg a person to treat you with decency or to respect you, or to do any of those things, it is not worth it. You are worth more. You shouldn't really have to ask a person to treat you with decency, which I
What do
feel
you
like
mean as the woman? What did that mean?
there. I'm not saying that this doesn't apply to men, right? But a lot of younger women do tend to accept really shitty behavior from the men that they're interested in because they do have low self-esteem. They feel like that it's all that they're worth. They don't know how to set boundaries correctly. They don't understand when they've set a boundary what to do when a person crosses that. They want to hold on to relationships that aren't worth it. That's why I said as a woman, because it is something that I've noticed in a lot of younger women. That's the only reason I said that. I'm not saying that it doesn't apply to men, but I am a woman. I was a young woman at one point.
You're still a young woman.
Yes, I'm a young woman who's nearly 40.
40. All right. Living purposely. What that means is to do things with purpose, with intent, to have goals, not to live randomly. Get up in the morning, maybe I'll shower, maybe I won't, maybe I'll go here, maybe I'll go there. It's not to say you can't ever be spontaneous, but you want to live with purpose in your life. Direct your activities and direct your thinking toward the things in life that you want. Now, this entails understanding what you want. It entails understanding what you value. But you can do that. And when you do, direct your energies toward those things. But again, the context matters. It can't just be, I want heroin, so that's going to be my purpose. No, always remember that you're trying to further your long-term interest. The women in the audience are coming out in droves to support Persephone. I was only kidding, ladies. Come on. Can I get a pass? For God's sake, I didn't even
Yes,
know what thirst tweeting was.
we're giving Michael 3 get out of jail free cards. Only 3.
All right, I guess that'll be good. So it's up to you now, Persephone, on the purpose.
Yes, you need to set goals, but the goal doesn't have to be. Sorry, I'm just thinking about you saying like it doesn't mean that you can't be spontaneous.
Right.
Yes. You need to if you my thoughts are so scattered at the moment.
Not very
Um
purposeful, not very
not
conscious.
not very purposeful. No. So your goals should I'm going to engage my brain before letting my mouth just run.
Okay, I think I have an idea what you're going to say. May I ask?
Yes.
Are you saying that all your activities should be directed in one direction?
N- no,
Then I have
that's
no
not.
clue then I don't know what you're talking about.
So when they talk about living purposefully and having goals, right? Some of those goals are going to be long term, and a goal is not necessarily like I want to lose 20 pounds or I want to earn $1 million. Um, like a goal can just be I want to be healthy. Um, I want to live healthier. I want to make healthier choices.
Yes, I don't want to have get into a big discourse on goal setting, but goals should be a little bit more specific than that. But that's for goals. But Persephone is correct in that you want to have short-term goals, medium goals, long-term goals, but all should be going in the same direction. But the point is that your mind should be focused, you should be conscious, and your efforts should be directed towards some purpose. It shouldn't just be haphazard in chaos. No Name says age doesn't matter, but that's not written on her dating profile. I didn't know she had a dating profile. But either way, Jeanette loves it. I don't know if she loves her dating profile or loves what we're talking about. It can get confusing. But the last pillar, and look, we've given them an extra 9 minutes today already.
I know it's about to be an extra 15, I think.
Olive
Oh,
says, what?
yeah. I was gonna read that as well.
So she says her life purpose is to be spontaneous and impulsive. Life is too short to be too serious. The problem with that, Olive, and I don't know if you're just kidding because I'm not Gen Z, I'm old, but is that if you live too spontaneously and too impulsively, your life will be much shorter than it otherwise would be. You will be killing the goose that laid the golden egg. And you do not want to do that. You want to live a long, happy life where you can succeed and thrive. And the sort of the best example that I can think of is, say, drugs. Heroin feels very, very good in the short term, but it ultimately takes your soul from you and then kills you. So the if you just are looking for the short-term pleasure, you're going to destroy your long-term happiness, and you do not want to do that. I don't know what side quests are. What is a side quest?
So when you're playing a video game, there's the main quest, which is the main goal of the story. So um, a side quest is something that is part of the story but doesn't advance the main quest at all. That is a side quest.
Okay,
Um,
you don't want to live life like that. You want to have
so
all your oars rowing in the same direction if you wish to flourish.
so just working towards your goals in life and making sure that your actions are aligned to your goals doesn't mean that you give up all spontaneity and all
No.
impulsivity. So this I am quite
I think, see, impulsivity, I don't like the connotations to the word, because you don't want to be acting out of focus. You don't want to just give in to impulse, to immediate gratification. Even in being spontaneous, it shouldn't be like I could spontaneously go out for ice cream, right?
mm,
I don't want, but that's within my parameters, right? Spontaneously going out and getting hammered is not.
was taking your shirt off in the middle of wherever you were, was that an impulse decision?
The yes, but what I mean exactly, that is within my parameters of acceptable behavior. You understand? I wouldn't have done that if I was, someplace where it was totally not appropriate. So while it's spontaneous in a sense, it's also aligned with who I am and what I want out of life. It's not going to undercut my long term interest.
Yes. I mean, and I think that's an important distinction. Be like having goals and living to your values doesn't mean that you don't do anything spontaneous or impulsive. It just means that you measure the behavior or the activity against whether this is going to serve you in the long run.
Yes. If
Um,
it's going to undercut your long term interest, you don't want to do it. I thought side quest meant something totally, totally different.
like a side piece.
That's what I thought. Yeah. I thought, wow, what, that's a strange life purpose. I'm glad you explained it to me.
So Olive says, I do have long life plans as a game. I do my main quest, but I'm also open to random side quests. I mean, yes, that's okay. As long as your side quests aren't distracting you from
Your
the
main
main
quest.
quest.
Yes. If they're not undercutting the main quest, then sure. You need pleasure in life. You need to have fun. I'm not suggesting you shouldn't.
Yeah. If you play a video game and you only do the side quests, the story's never going to finish. You're never going to get to the end of the story.
Wow, this is why I keep you around. Very, very smart. So I thought thirst tweets was just a matter of getting attention. I thought raids baits were something that they're not, and I thought a side quest was the equivalent of a side piece. All which are evidence that I am way too old. But the last pillar is integrity. You want to have a system of values and principles by which you live, and you do not break them for anything. Integrity means to be integrated. You want to have your values, your principles integrated, and you do not want to break them. This is how self respect is built. This is how you come to trust yourself. This is how the reputation that you build with yourself is a good one. You know that you can be counted on to do the right thing, especially when it matters.
You
No, stars for Amy. You absolutely should try to explain things. It's good. Maybe we could one day have a show explaining Gen Z to Liebowitz. Well, we could even bring Mark around if he'd want. I think that'd be a ton of fun.
No. I mean, to you, yes, but the concept of trying to explain certain things to Mark is horrifying.
What about me?
No, to you it's fine.
All right, we'll bring me. Mark's out.
Um, so with regards to living with integrity and your values, um, it is a worthwhile exercise to figure out exactly what your values are. Um,
Yes. Not just, can I say though, not just figure out what they are, but pick them. Choose your values. Choose the right values. You don't want to just take the given because they could be wrong. Yeah,
yeah,
stars for Amy. We could do. No. I don't want this 6-7. Don't drive me crazy. Yeah, we could have a special episode where we do that. I'm up for that.
I mean, I'm down. I have so many Gen Z and millennial
That's
slang
wonderful,
words to
especially if it's
introduce you
all
to.
pretty women and me. I'm up for it.
Um, yeah. So with the values and stuff, it can be very tempting to go, well, I know what my values are because you've sort of absorbed them through osmosis and through what your parents taught you and what your friends do and all of these things. But it's really important to figure out what your values are. And if you hold values that aren't going to serve you in the long run, to change those and to work on changing them, which comes back to, I can't remember when someone asked, um, how to deal with not they didn't use the word limiting beliefs, but something similar. So you need to identify what your values are, how to live up to those.
By the way, I didn't just take my shirt off. No, I want it to be understood. I took my shirt off and I sang. There was singing involved.
That's very, yeah, that it's
I was
very
singing.
important.
I was singing "Holding Out for a Hero" by Bonnie Tyler, which is a great, great song.
It is a good song. Just I wish is there a video of
Who
this
are we leaving out? We're not leaving anybody out. Is there video of me with my shirt off?
singing?
I don't think there's video, but there's
Because
pictures.
I've seen the pictures. I saw a TikTok where they asked teenagers what was considered old. 25, that's considered old. But I mean, that's been the case for ages. Like, kids always think that,
They're stupid.
20-year-olds are ancient. I like the silence.
I'm doing something. Keep
James
talking.
James says this all deserves an hour-long format. Yeah, we spoke about increasing it to 45 minutes,
I emailed you my photograph.
which I granted already had.
No, you said you had seen it. I didn't know you copied it.
I'm pretty sure I put this up on the screen on the Capitalist Corner. Do you want me to put it up now? Because I will.
For $2. If somebody gives $2, if someone gives $2 as a super chat or super sticker, she will post it. I'm pretty sure they may start giving the money so that you do not post it. That's what I think. We need elder bias rather than kid bias.
I'd give anything to be a millennial. Why? I'm very curious. Why?
Why would you want to be? No, I'm not. I'm Gen Z. No, I'm Gen
No,
X.
you're Gen X. No,
I'm
you're
Gen
Gen
X.
X. Didn't they call you guys the lost generation?
I don't know what they call me. You know what? You know what I call myself? Some kind of wonderful.
Some kind of fucking is what you're about to say.
I am. All right, so we're getting ready to wrap up. Nobody gave the $2 for the picture. Subby has singing footage of me. He does. There's plenty of it. Interestingly, we were singing in the car, and Subby's dad, who's in his 80s, the one he recognized immediately was Boy George. Subby says he's got a $2 bill on the desk. I don't want it. All right. Subby gave a $2 bill. I'll take it. You can put the picture. Do you?
He just
Did you?
wants to. He just wants to show off because he's got nice tattoos.
No, I'm not putting it up now. I refuse. No, I don't want to. Little Italy, San Diego people. Thanks for the $2 sub. You are some kind of wonderful. All right, let's get that out of there. Let's wrap up this show. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe to the program. We are on the Capitalist Corner channel, but the show is Everyday Ethics. Go to our Patreon, patreon.com/everyday ethics. We love you. We appreciate you. We will see you tomorrow. But until then, what do they got to do, Persephone?
Be ethical.
Be ethical. And I'm taking the $2 bill sub.